Beats, let down. Beats. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to show you how I made this beat. So this is the beat challenge, episode 1, week 1, psychedelic Cambodian music. What I wanted to do was take some of the psychedelic Cambodian music and turn it into a full track. So today what I'm using is an iPad, and I'm using an app called Beatmaker 3. If you don't know about this app, it's amazing. You can do a lot. There's a lot of hidden things in here. And I'm going to show you first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the song completely through, and then I'm going to walk you through the steps on really what happened, what some of the inspiration was. So without further ado, here is the full track. It's probably about a 2-minute beat, but we're going to let it play. All right. Okay. So that's the beat. And there's only one track being sampled on this beat. And I got it from an album called Cambodian Soul Sounds Volume 1. So if you want to learn more about this era in Cambodian music that was all about psychedelic rock and you name it, go check out that album, Cambodian Soul Sounds Volume 1. And the first track on that album, it is titled, forgive me, I cannot speak Cambodian. It is called Pnhaeu, Samnieng, I don't know. And the artist is listed as Pnhaeu. So if you look at the track, I don't know if you can see my screen, we'll send this, we'll actually post this out on our social accounts so you could see it, what the track is. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to play that sample that you heard. So I chopped up the sample, and if you listen to the track, it begins with kind of a female voice almost talking to the band, and she's saying something to the band, and then the music starts, right? So when you hear the track, okay, the beat, the actual music comes in, and when you listen to the song, it's actually a cover of the Beatles song, It's a Hard Day's Night. So they're singing they're doing a cover song, basically. So my sample was just that intro part, the voice, and that first hit of the band, the those are the two samples that I used. And I just chopped them up a little bit and made that vocal line that you heard. So when you hear her say that, that's actually what it's doing. It was happening is I'm tuning this down, and it's being tuned down essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 half steps. Okay, so when you listen to the track, I'm just going to solo that section right here. That's the main thing that makes up the beat. And there's some... So what I'm doing is I'm just placing those different chops on the pads and getting some inspiration with a rhythm of how she's singing it. So I put some things pitched down, and then I was just trying to hear musically where is she singing that makes it make sense musically, right? So I think, you know, I'm a 80s baby. So, you know, I started making beats in 2000, 2001, right when, you name it, all the, you know, Timbaland, all the big hit makers were kind of playing in this arena. You know, I think in the late 90s and early 2000s is where you heard a lot of, you know, Eastern influence kind of like being used in hooks and stuff like that. That is exactly what I was getting inspired from right here. So I just wanted that to inspire the rest of the track. I'm going to solo just the drums here. So the drums aren't anything special. It's really just a halftime beat that's happening. And I'm going to zoom in really quick and let you know. Here we go. Here's the beat. Okay, so we got that. The snare is hitting on the third beat. And that's really where you have the halftime feel. So if you listen to a lot of Run the Jewels, they live and die by the halftime feel. This is the halftime feel right here. Clap. Clap. Okay. But in order to make it interesting, I actually recorded some tambourine. So I'm going to add the tambo in right now. Okay, I'm going to start the beat over to the top. Okay, the tambo is going to give you some of that swing. None of this is, all of the beat is completely quantized. So it's going to be snapped to a grid. It's not going to have that human feel at all. And when you add tambo, if you record it live, you automatically kind of are forcing the track to have a little bit more human feel to it. That means that it's not going to sound very, very robotic, right? Okay. The rest of the track, what I'm doing is I'm letting that vocal line basically play through, right? The other sample that I used is right here, and I'm going to go to it. Muted. Okay, and that's when the band comes in. The first hit of the band is basically this tuned way, way, way down. So I'm actually going to go and play exactly what that sample is. The sample is, here it is. The first beat, right? So instead it's way pitched down. And then I just did a quick line, and there it is. So I'm just doing basically an octave, a fifth, minor third, and the first note, right? Okay. That's a line. I actually mimicked that with the bass, and I picked up a bass guitar and actually played that together, and I'll just play those two lines together. So not much to that. It's basically just reinforcing kind of that like electronic sounding, you know, old school kind of like orchestra hit is basically what's going on. So it needed a little bit more. And what I did was I added just a little bit of like funkiness to keep that bounce going throughout the whole song. And you can hear that right here. So I'm just going to play the drums, the tambo, and the other element, which is basically just the synth brought in. Here it is. Okay, so that's really it. There is some other stuff that's going on with the synth. And if you email us at 3bl@3beatslater.com and you want to learn about what's happening with this synth and why it sounds bouncy, let me know and we'll give you an explainer. But we don't have enough time today. So I'm going to play a little bit of the beat. There's one last thing that's happening, which is the intro. And I'll just kind of play that together. There's transition period going from the intro into the beat, and you'll hear it right here with the drums. I'm gonna solo that. I'm gonna solo what's happening with the vocals. Okay, so you'll hear one of those voices where she says like Pnhaeu, I don't even know what that is. And that's gonna go way down, it's pitched down. So I'm automating that to actually dive. And then I'm automating another one of the voices to actually go way up, just because it sounds like almost like a tape recorder going really, really fast forward. When you listen to the drums, this is like your cliche kind of like trap fill, whatever, but it's a little overdone. And I kind of did it on purpose just because I'm playing around with that to try to hear what sounds good. I'm just going to solo that. That sounds like trash, but it's a good transition to get into the song, right? If I had more time with this track, I would probably edit that to make that transition a little bit more tension building, slower, or I should say over a longer period of time, and then hitting the beat. So that's the beat. That's how I made the beat. And I'm gonna kick it over to the rest of the guys.